Okay, you're being crazy. Okay, you got hair all over me now. Okay, move. I need you to move. Hey YouTube world, I am back with another video, and today's topic I think is an interesting one. You could call it kind of psychological, but I think that it's something that we all do, right? When we pick out our outfit, we also pick out our bags and the bag of the day. You, depending on what location, what event, what weather, you pick a specific bag for a reason. Now, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Completely stand behind that. But unfortunately, we live in the world of first impressions, and people who don't know you can basically judge you from your appearance, right? And this video idea is giving credit to Cat Have Nice Things. She was one of my OG subbies, and we have developed a really great experience as well as relationship over the past year and have really nice conversations. So she gave me this video idea, and I was like, this is perfect. So if you haven't checked out her Instagram, she doesn't have a YouTube. I'm trying to tell her, like, you should start a YouTube because you have a lot of great ideas and opinions and people would love to hear them. Maybe one day that will come, but currently she does have an Instagram. So definitely go give her a follow. She posts a lot of her really cute bags that we can all enjoy together. So definitely check her out. So let's just kind of get right into it. So the first category, this sounds kind of vulgar here, but I'm going to put it into, I want to look poor. And this is how I'm going to look, quote unquote, poor. Also, in other words, I'm just going to bring one of my beater bags so that I am not being flashy and whipping out like my nicest bags or anything. The second category is I'm going to bring out my most baller bags because I want to show it off, right? So those are the two categories. All right, the first bag I'm going to go over in the first category is going to be my MZ Wallace Hot Neon Pink Tote. This is a bag that I'm going to be wearing when I'm going to the vet. And first of all, this is a really nice nylon tote that's one waterproof, one slobber proof, because dogs are in the car, they're panicking, they're fluffing their hair everywhere. So this is a nice beater bag that I like to use when I go to the vet. Plus, it's also not super flashy, so that, when you go to the vet, I really appreciate and worship. Let's just say I worship my vets, and they're really nice people, right? But I also don't want to show that I have a Chanel bag and basically you can charge me more. Let's do x-rays. Let's do, MRIs or anything. Oh, your dogs, I want them to take the best care. And I'm lucky enough that I have a lot of experience going in and out of vets. There are vets that are going to try to take advantage of you. But like I said, luckily I have found my group of vets that I take my two troublemaker of corgis to all the time. They are getting older, right? That, I know they're going to do the best for my dogs, but I also don't need to flash them like, yes, I have thousands of dollars to spend on my dog kind of thing, right? And like I said, I like to wear this one because it's slobber proof. You can wash this. It won't attract any dog hair. And if it does get dog hair on there, I could just kind of like scrape it off. The other one I also like to wear when I'm going to the vet is, going back to this one, it has a crossbody. When I'm handling two dogs with leashes, I'm going to need all of my hands and car keys and whatever, right? And sometimes I like to bring this one when there's a bunch of medications. I can easily fit all of the medications that I want to show the vet in here nicely. If I'm going just for a routine check, I don't need to bring a lot of medications with me to talk to the vet about. I would bring this because it's a nice belt bag. Same kind of criteria, right? Where you have the nylon material so that you can easily just wipe off if you get dog hair or cat hair or whatever on there. Other places where I want my bags to work to my advantage would be going to Ashley's or furniture shopping. Again, this is my experience. There's a lot of markup when it comes to furniture if you don't know already, right? So when I go to Ashley's, I know the prices are negotiable over there, right? So I tend to wear my flashy bags. So something like my Dress Up Your Purse where it's very plain, it's still a nice bag, right? It's still leather. I'm not worried about getting hair on there. And I'm just going furniture shopping, and this is a solid bag that I can zip up and close. And, sometimes I can wear these if I want to, but for me, when I go to Ashley's, I'm ready to like throw down. I'm going to start negotiating and bargaining with the salespeople at Ashley's Furniture. That is a place where I'm going to dress very low key. I'm not going to be flashy or anything when I go furniture shopping. My proudest moment is going in, this is like 5 years ago, went into Ashley's. We picked out a couch that we liked online. We went and tried it, my boyfriend and I was like, okay, we're ready to buy. Sat down. The list price of that couch, it was a leather couch. It was electric. I don't have that couch anymore, but it was listed for $8,000. After 2 hours of negotiation, I was able to walk out with that couch. Well, not walk out, but have the couch delivered. Out the door, warranty, delivery, et cetera, taxes, out the door for $1,900. Isn't that crazy, right? If I showed up with a Chanel purse, there is no way that that is going to happen. Okay, microphone died. So we're gonna film this the old school way. So another place that is part of that category where I don't want to be flashy, I want my bag that I'm using to work to my advantage, is going to the car dealership. My goodness, the amount of dealerships I've showed up to where the service people have tried to take advantage of me. Again, hopefully your experience, or if you work at a car dealership, I get it. This is, I have a friend who works at a car dealership. The dealerships don't make as much money on selling brand new cars. They hardly make any money on selling brand new cars. Where they make their money is through used cars, because the margins are going to be much larger. But majority of car dealerships, where they make their money, is going to be their service department. And I have a friend who worked in the service department for, I want to say 5 or 6 years. He's like, yeah, that is how they keep their lights on. And service people have sales quotas, believe it or not. They're technically salespeople. So again, my boyfriend is a car guy. So every time I go for an oil change, the car service people would just basically tell me, here are the 8 items you need done to your car. And of course, I'm just like, I don't know, I just drive the car. Let me check with my boyfriend. And he's a car guy, right? He works on cars. I don't know about working on cars. He pays people to work on cars. If he sleep talks, it would be like spewing out car stuff. And it's just like really annoying. So obviously I'm going to check with him saying, hey, they're saying I need these 8 items done to my car. And he'll be like, absolutely not. None of those need to be worked on or changed or anything. So that's another point where I show up with, a bag like Lululemon or a bag like this to be not flashy and for them to try to upsell me on services I do not need. And of course, I'm at the point in my life where I've gone through so many dealerships, so many different, service people that they know who I am. And, my boyfriend is a car guy. They're not going to try to upsell me anymore. But, just to as of habit, like I'm showing up to a car dealership. I'm not trying to buy a car or anything. I'm going to show up in my regular dress up your purse kind of bag and not be flashy at all. Now, I also go to the hair salon, and I also don't want to wear something super flashy when I go to the hair salon, because one, they're going to ask like, you want to do this treatment? Do you want to do that treatment? It's like, no, I don't. I just cut my hair. Just give me my balayage that I always ask for. Stop trying to upsell me with different items and products, right? So usually when I get my hair done, I like to go downtown and meet friends and show off my new haircut, right? Feeling fresh, right? So these are the 2 bags I would generally take when I'm going to the hair salon. So for this one, this is the Actate Nation Iconic Alley bag. It's a really nice bag that you can definitely be really low key about it. Still go to the hair salon. It's an iconic piece. It's a conversation starter. Sometimes it is, right? It's a very unique looking bag. It's not something you see like a Coach or whatever. So it's nice to talk about your bag and just have something very neutral to talk about with your hairstylist. You're there for at least for me, I'm there for like 3 or 4 hours. I don't want to have to talk for 3 or 4 hours straight. I put in my headset and I just go play on my phone. That's what I do. I talk for a living. I talk to you guys on YouTube, which I enjoy doing. So I really don't want to talk to my hairstylist, ask him about my life, what do I do? It's just like the small talk for 3 or 4 hours is just exhausting. So generally, they would see my bag, they would ask about it, saying super cute. Hey, it's really not a, break the bank kind of bag. This is where you're going to find it. Okay, cool. You're done doing my hair. I'm just going to sit here and let the bleach, ruin my hair. So leave me alone. yeah. So This is the bag I like to bring. And sometimes I like something more durable and something a little bit more hardy, because I have gone to hair salons where they like accidentally sprayed hair dye or bleach or some sort of hair product on my bag. I want something that I can easily quickly wipe it off and not ruin my next nice bags. But I'm also able to take this downtown and go out to dinner and still have a really nice bag instead of showing up to dinner with this, right? Another option would be using my Senrev Aria bag, which is a belt bag, which is kind of nice because it's so versatile, where again, it's not flashy, it's very hardy. You can easily wipe off anything that gets on there from the hair salon. And if you're going out to dinner and you want it to be really dressy, you can easily pop out the chain strap and take off the belt portion of it, and then it turns into a really nice dinner bag that you can, leave the belt portion of it in your car or wherever you're going so that you can go with a dressier style. So those are the kind of 2 bags I would take to a hair salon. All right, moving to the next category. What kind of bag would you take to a concert? So this is the bag I would take to a concert, which is my Chanel Camellia wallet on chain. That's what I would want to bring to a concert or any sporting event or whatever, right? So I went to a Backstreet Boy concert and I brought my Chanel walk to it. And they're like, you're gonna have to go put this in your car. I'm like, what do you mean? This basically fits nothing. I'm not gonna get any weapons in here, okay? There's nothing that can go in there. They had this little wooden plank that was literally this size, like this size. And of course, my wallet on chain came up to here and this part was sticking out. They're like, if this doesn't fit within the little wooden square that we have, you can't bring it in. I was like, are you insane? This is crazy. I was so pissed that I had to go lock this in my glove compartment of my car and hopefully nobody stole it, which nobody did, right? I was pissed. So I don't have the other bag with me, but if you're ever going to something, a big event where there's high security, I understand they're just doing their job. They're following orders, right? Sometimes it's a little ridiculous, but if you don't want to deal with the hassle of walking all the way back to your car and putting your nice purse away, I do highly recommend that you get a clear bag. Man, all of the clear bags I've seen out there are just terrible looking. They look like lunch bags that are clear. And I went on a hunt saying, there must be something cuter out there, right? So obviously Amazon was more convenient. I was going to a Billy Joel concert in New York City and I had very limited time because I found out I got tickets very last minute. So I was able to find this, and I'll pop screenshots on here, a bag that is clear and it's like a clutch, and you open it and you close it. It's enough to fit 2 phones. It's enough to fit a wallet or a card holder in there and, a lipstick. So that was perfect for me. It was clear. It was funny because Madison Square Garden ended up not even caring about that. So it's just like, well, at least, for me, it wasn't like going to the Backstreet Boys concert where I had my car with me and I can easily just put it away. I didn't want to take any chances, so I bought that clear bag so that I can use it for any concert, any sporting events that I go to, so that you cannot have to deal with that hassle and security. So definitely check that link. I'll have everything linked down below for you. And any bags that I talk about today, I'll have it linked down for you if I can find them, so that you can easily add them to your collection if you think it's a good fit for you. By the way, if you haven't subscribed already, I hope you'll come back, hit that notification bell button so that you don't miss any of my videos that I release. I want to talk about indie brands. I want to talk about big luxury brands. I want to talk about really pretty bags. And hopefully you enjoy my little ramblings and kind of spark some ideas moving forward, and perhaps your next purchase, taking a look at what you currently have and how to utilize your current bags. The second portion of this, and where I want to be as baller, as flashy, as much as I can. Now, the first category where I'm gonna bust out my most bougie bag ever, and I'm gonna use that to my advantage. So, number 1, restaurants. Going to fine dining restaurants. I'm not talking about going to McDonald's or Chipotle. I'm talking about going to like fine dining restaurants. Restaurants that you might be having a hard time getting reservations for. And I've tested this out many times in Chicago, in Nashville, in other cities. The way you dress, the way you look, and what bag you carry can get you in, no questions asked sometimes. Most of the time. Now, I'm not gonna say it's working, it's gonna work all the time, but if you show up to a restaurant not even if with reservations or without reservations, if you are not dressed like a shrub, you will get seated. And for me, I tend to dress pretty casual. I'm wearing this Amazon thing today, and I've worn this to a restaurant. They look like genie pants, right? And I've worn this before, but I busted out my Chanel single flap in the beige. I love this bag. Love this bag. If you wear something like this and you show up with a purse like this, it doesn't matter if this is from Amazon. You have a nice bag, and they're gonna see that. People who are, running the restaurants, the managers of the restaurants, they see that bag, they'll get you in. I have no confirmation. I don't know anybody that works in the restaurant industry, but based on my experience, this is what happened to me. They will seat me right in front, even if I don't have any reservations, just because I have a nice looking bag. Isn't that crazy? Don't judge a book by its cover. People judge you by a book by its cover. And to kind of further that point, my boyfriend, he wears the same thing wherever we go. Whether it's a nice restaurant, whether it's a, fast casual restaurant, he shows up with his hoodie, his slacks. They're like tactical pants. He likes to call them tactical pants. And he's got his sneakers on. And he usually wears a baseball cap, right? He shows up to fine dining like that. I can't. Sometimes he'll put on a button-up shirt, whatever. So he would tell me and complain saying that, I'll be out of town. He goes out to dinner. He wants a tomahawk steak dinner for some reason on his own. He would show up. He said he would get looked up and down and said, sorry, we don't have any tables available, even though he can see tables available. And it's like 9 o'clock or it's like 8:30 at night. So you know that the new reservations aren't coming in, so to speak, and there are tables available. And they will be like, you can go ahead and sit at the bar. He dresses the same way. And then when he's with me, we get seated immediately. Based on my experience, wearing your most baller bags definitely help you get into restaurants without reservations and get seated at the really good table up front, etc. Other occasions where I'm gonna bust out my most baller bags, family reunions. Now, I don't go to a lot of family reunions, but if I did, I'm going to bust out my most baller bags. We all know families. Family like to talk about what's going on with other family members, right? I am not going to show up with a crappy bag. I'm going to show up with the Chanel. I'm going to show up with my other Chanel. I'm going to show up with my Hermes Picotin. Am I petty? Maybe. I don't know. But like I said, I don't go to a lot of family events. My family, most of them are overseas. But if I'm going to show up to a family reunion, I'm going to show up with one of these. You know those memes where you go to your sibling's house and they have kids, and then you're like that aunt with no kids, and then you're just like throwing $1 bills at the nieces. Yeah, I found that funny because that's who I am. So talking a little bit about vacations, right? Vacations are something that we plan our outfits for as well, where, if I'm going to, let's just say Paris or Tokyo or any country or cities that, it's going to be more in the city as opposed to like out in adventure or the beach or whatever, I'm going to bust out, bags like this, and then of course, my Hermes Picotin. Nice bags, right? I know I'm not going to be getting them dirty. I'm not going to be, I'm going to be in shopping mode. I'm going to Hermes. Of course, I got to show up with like Hermes bags, right? Or I'm going to, places like Paris where there's a lot of high-end luxury that's happening. I feel very comfortable and I feel very, I fit right in when I'm wearing stuff like this. Now, if I'm going to like Costa Rica or if I'm going to like a resort in Mexico or whatever, or I'm going hiking in the Nordics, going to Iceland or whatever, then I definitely wouldn't bring any of these bags. I probably would just bring something like this, where it's very pretty, it's very, casual, but it's still very functional, right? That's probably what I would bring, along with something like an MZ Wallace when I'm going hiking, stuff like that. That is a little bit mid-range, something that is more durable if I'm going to a more adventure kind of vacation. Now, if I'm going to, let's just say brunch with the girlfriends, it depends on where we're going, right? I know that for brunch, especially, I don't know, I don't really go to brunch during the winter in the mornings, and during winter, if it's like 10 degrees outside, I'm gonna hole up and not go out until like noon and actually go for lunch. But usually in my experience, I like to go to brunch during the summertime, the springtime. And most of the time, we've been cooped up in the house for so long during the winter that when I do brunch, I want to be outside. I want the sunshine and fresh air outside. And if I'm sitting outside, how outside breakfast brunch places are mostly. They're wired tables, they are wooden tables, something that is weatherproof, and usually they're a little bit worn out from being out in the elements. So I tend to not want to bring bags that are going to get scuffed up easily, right? Like I wouldn't bring my nice purse to put on the floor on the outside. That's just not, no, that is not happening. If I were to go to brunch, I probably would bring something like an Actic Nation because they have feet at the bottom. So if you have a purse hook, definitely bring the purse hook with you so that you can hook it on the table, on the side of the table. But I would bring something like this that's very durable if I'm having brunch outside. And if you have too many mimosas and you just need a crossbody, you're gonna make sure that you have this bag with you and not lose it. And then, of course, if you're going to conferences, I've talked about the whole quiet luxury work bags that I go to. I'm going to use my bags to my advantage, which is funny because I recently went to a client and they asked me, hey, do you like pocketbooks? I'm just like, what are pocketbooks? You mean like my notebook? It wasn't this one, but it was like, are you talking about notebooks? Yeah, I like notebooks. They're fine. I write stuff in it. No. He's like, he pointed at my bag. He's like, do you like pocketbooks? I was like, oh, you mean purse? Yeah, I love purses. He's like, oh, purses, pocketbooks are like works of art to me. And I just bought my wife a Chanel bag. I was like, oh, we can be friends. My client, this prospect I'm meeting with, we can be friends. Yeah, so going back to work conferences, work meetings, I feel like first impressions matter, right? If you're in sales, again, this doesn't apply to everybody, right? If you're in sales, you don't want to show up like a shrub. You are a salesperson, you want to show up with not something super flashy. Now, obviously, like, a Louis Vuitton on the go. Let me go get it. A purse like this, I think, is great because you can still see it's Louis Vuitton, but it's pretty low key. And it kind of shows success, right? You want to give the impression that you are good at your job. Again, this is all my opinion. Please don't hate me. But there is something to be said that where you wear, if you come in with like a shredded bag, people are gonna be like, do I want to do business with this person who can't even take care of themselves? Like their appearances and whatnot. So you want to come with a decently respectable bag. Now, obviously, don't show up with a Birkin. You definitely can if you want to. I've done so. But you want to show up with a decently priced bag. People know how much purses can be, right? That accentuates a sense of success, and you're working with a person who is good at their job. I've been in this current job for 10 years, and I do see a difference, right? People who show confidence and wear their bag. And this is something like your hair, like your nails, right? We get our nails done. We get our hair done. We wear purses. It boosts your confidence and how you come off and accentuate your demeanor. My experience. Yeah, so I'll just kind of leave it at that. You take that how you will. I think that pretty much wraps up all of the purses that I want to talk about in different occasions and how to use that bag to your advantage, to look richer, to look poorer, however you want to put it that way. But I think the bags can be used to work to our advantage as people who wear their bags. So enough of my rambling here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below what you think, if you had any purses that you worn and did it help you? Did it work to your advantage, right? Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully lessen retail. I'll see y'all next time.